This segment is sponsored by Norris Accounting and Tax Services CPA LLC. CPA Dion Norris is with us from Norris Accounting and Tax right at National Harbor. Great to have you back here to talk everything tax season.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, so let's start with what is an extension and how can people get one if they need one?
Yeah, perfect. So an extension is simply a mechanism to extend the actual filing of the tax return, but it's not a mechanism to extend paying any tax that may be due. And that's something that I'm finding a lot having to educate that. So definitely want to put that tad bit out there.
We love getting educated when you're here, so let's talk about this one. What's the difference between a tax credit and a tax deduction?
Yes. Sounds similar. They do similar things, but they're treated differently when it comes to tax purposes. So a tax deduction is a reduction in your income that before your tax liability for the year is established, whereas a tax credit is a reduction in your tax liability after deductions have been taken into account. So you definitely want to take advantage of tax credits before deductions because they'll help you more.
All right, let's talk about how we can make filing taxes more efficient.
Yes, another great question. Especially even if it's yourself or going with a tax preparer, you want to be prepared and organized. When you're disorganized, it makes the tax preparation disorganized and extends the process to actually file your tax return.
It's a great transition into the next question.
Yes.
What can we do now to make next tax season easier?
Planning. Now that tax season is about to end, we definitely want to start planning for next tax season because things happen and they take time. So you definitely want to give yourself a buffer instead of rushing at the end of the year, next year.
All right. I want to talk a little bit about how you got into the business. You served for our country. We thank you for your service to our country. Talk about your office over at National Harbor. I always say it's got the best views.
Definitely does.
It's absolutely beautiful. But talk a little bit about how you got into the business.
Yeah. So it started with a passion of when I left active duty, just experiencing what came out of my check and not realizing how much came out of my check, I hate to say. And that is kind of what piqued my interest in order to help other people, because this is something that is not common knowledge for a lot of people. Is just the complexity of the tax code. So being someone who understands it and can give that insight and understanding is why I started.
Well, and I think that's great. People aren't just showing up and handing you some folders. You're educating people along the way, which is really important. If people want to start that conversation with you, start with a consultation and use your services. What's the best way to start that? So
the best way is to either give us a call, you can email us or visit our website. Someone is always standing by ready to answer any questions.
Or stop by the beautiful office. I say,
stop by the office.
You want to have an office visit. Trust me, everybody. Dion Norris, so great to see you. Thank you so much for all this great information.
Thank you.